Yo, what is going on, guys? We are back today for another Alliance War video. So this one is technically the third war of the season, of season 58, but for me it's only my second war because I missed the first one due to being on my trip. But we are back, and so 4Loki is facing off against, I'm not sure what their acronym is, but the Book of the Vishanti. So shout out to these guys, and yeah. Before we get into anything, got a little bit of a story time. So my original fight this war was going to be like Dust versus Deathless Thanos or something. That was my original assignment, or on the draft for the war. And then someone else ended up taking that, and I didn't really want to do the fight anyways. I already had initial concerns, so I was actually glad that ended up happening. But the other open fight was Okoye versus Sentinel, which I don't have Okoye, so I wasn't able to do that one. So then I got switched to Thing, which, you know, is actually kind of fitting because Thing is like the whole mascot of this season. Now, I got assigned Thing with Jack-O-Lantern, you know, and I like Jack. I think he's a pretty cool character. I think he's pretty fun to play. But, you know, outside of, like, fighting Onslaughts, the occasional Onslaught, because, you know, like, when someone drafts Jack, the other person typically doesn't put Onslaught on defense. And so that's really, you know, the bulk of my testing and experience playing Jack, you know, is against Onslaught, not Thing, and, you know, especially not in Alliance War. So, you know, I asked, and I'm really glad that I asked, you know, before I had joined the war. I was like, hey, you know, is there anything I need to be aware of or, you know, looking out for when it comes to this Thing fight? And so immediately Matt and Clown gave me some really good advice, which I don't know if these wires would have clicked in my brain, you know, if someone didn't directly tell me this. So I'm really glad that I asked. So I'm deciding to bring along Heimdall, and basically, you know, what they said was to finish combos with light attacks. That was pretty much it. That was really the only thing to be doing differently, you know, in this matchup. And, you know, if we take a look at the nodes, it will all make sense as to why. So this is a rank 4. I didn't see the SIG. It might be SIG 200, but it's rank 4 Thing. So very big thing, big rocky boy. So I'm going to throw on some boosts. I just go for medium boosts. Yeah, medium boosted up. And then, you know, if we take a gander at the nodes here, and we're definitely going to be going for an invulnerability boost. I think that's just a good idea. You only get one fight per war, potentially. So, in my mind, it's in your best interest to be invulnerable for that fight. So, but let's take a gander at the nodes now. So, first up, we got Combat Deja Vu Prowess, which isn't the biggest deal. It's not like, you know, it's kind of a big deal when it's paired with Prowess Puncture, and if there's like difficult to deck special attacks or something, but it's Thing. Specials are all physical and have a certain range, so, you know, there's no problem with that. So I'm not really going to be caring about doubling up my hits. That's not a big deal. But it's the other nodes here. So we have Big Thing, Force Charge, Race to the Top 3. So Force Charges are gained via Big Thing challenge nodes. Saga Champions, you know, gain more charges. And then so here, Big Thing Challenge, Tech Control. So when one of the defender's prowess effects are invalidated, nullified, or staggered, or when a prowess buff is prevented by a Fate Seal, gain 4 Force Charges. Now, it makes sense why Thing would be placed here, because Thing is immune to Nullify, Stagger, and Fate Seal. I'm pretty sure he's immune to all those things. So, how do you gain charges here? And then, if you keep reading, though, it says, if the defender is struck while they are suffering from cowardice, gain 1 force charge. And Jack totally applies cowardice. Again, this is something I'm so glad that I asked, because I always forget that Jack has cowardice. You know, that wouldn't even... I'm dumb, so I wouldn't even think about that. I need to be told these little things, so I'm really glad that I asked. I was like, oh, okay, it all makes, like, as soon as I heard that, like, and I read and understood, I'm like, oh, it all clicks. It all makes total, complete, logical sense. So all I have to do is end my combos with light attacks, and I should be fine, you know. And so that was kind of the mindset that I had going into the fight. So getting in here, boom, we start, we light end our combo, and there we go. We applied a cowardice debuff. Now you can see every time that I hit him, I'm gaining those force charges. And you know, the force charges are what's going to help you and prevent you from timing out. If you don't have enough force charges, you're most likely going to time out of the fight. So it's very important that you're building those up. And you build those up through different ways, through these nodes. Honestly, dude, I am really personally enjoying this war season. I know a lot of people at the top don't like it, but dude, not me. This is fun, and it's honestly, it's a nice break from what war typically is. And you know, we're still getting radiance for the rewards at the end. So like, I'm a happy camper personally, dude. I am a very happy camper. I feel like I'm getting way more and better rewards for way less effort. You know, it's just one fight. It's so chill. I'm loving it, dude. I am loving it. And so you know, this is just fighting thing now, essentially, with keeping up the cowardice. That's really all it is. So, you know, we're just making sure to keep an eye on those rock stacks. You know, I'm giving him the prowess, but it doesn't matter. We drop the special 2s, and, you know, we start debuffs ticking for like 69,000 damage, which is, you know, pretty nice to look at. And, you know, our force charges just keep continuing to grow. We're at above 40 charges right now. They are slowly falling off, though. So we just need to keep attacking to keep them up. And so here I dropped the special 2. And I wasn't exactly sure how many hits it was. I was like, oh, okay, 4 hits. And then I did have to bait a heavy attack because I did not want him to throw a special there, because then it would have been really annoying to manage those rock stacks. So I missed out on a little bit of my damage because he did activate his protection, but it's fine. Everything's going pretty good. At this point, you know, I'm looking at the time, I'm looking at the health, and I'm getting like just a tad worried, you know? I'm like, okay, we're already a couple minutes in. He's still above half health. You know, I was hoping he'd be a bit lower by now, but alright, let's just stick with what we're doing. What we're doing is working. Right there, I just lined up the combo, so a full combo ending 5 combo into a light would push him right to 15, and then I'm free to bait. My cowardice actually fell off though, so boom, we need to get a fresh cowardice debuff. Boom, light ending combo, apply a new one, there we go. Go for a little relic, medium here. He decides to hold block, turtle up, so I'm going to hit him a couple more times just to push him to that special 2. There we go, bait that out. Right now we're sitting above 50 charges. You can see when we crit, it's like 60,000 in red, which is pretty nice. And then those debuffs, man, ticking for like 80,000 per tick, which is like 160,000 damage every single second. It's pretty nice, man. It's pretty nice. Just keep on pushing him to 15 rock stacks, baiting these specials. Nice and simple. Everything's going pretty good. Alright. 10 rock stacks. Gonna stop my combo. Again, just tee myself up for a regular light ending 5-hit combo. Just to make things the least complicated in my brain as possible. You know, in these fights. There's really not too much to look out for in this matchup, so just trying to play my absolute best here and manage the rock stacks, because that's really important. And you know, at this point, I'm like, all right, we got a minute and a half left, but he's dropping quick now. I'm feeling pretty good at this point. I'm like, all right, one more special 2, man, and he might just be cooked. But I started to get a little sketched out because I'm in assassin range now, and like right there, that last hit didn't trigger a rock stack, but he's dead, so it's fine. It's totally all good. And yeah, there we go, man. Another fight soloed. That one is a little bit longer, 3 minutes 47 seconds, but just slow and steady, and we brought it home. So yeah, I really enjoyed that fight. It was cool to, you know, fight the mascot of the season, that is Thing. And Jack, man, like again, just totally forgot about his cowardice, and that really came in handy here. So at this point in the war, we have 2 more deaths than them, and we're tied on exploration, so it's not looking great. And unfortunately, we did end up losing. We ended up with 19 deaths to their 10. We had a pretty poor war. But yeah, I was watching, I think it was Grass's video, and he was saying that they've never beaten 4 Loki before. It's their first time. So congrats to them. GG's. It was a good war. And yeah, it's going to go ahead and wrap it up for my video here with Jack-O-Lantern versus Thing. I hope you guys enjoyed that fight, all that poison, damage over time action, the big red numbers. It's great to see. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like if you enjoyed the fight. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. The next war will be a live commentary. And I'll tell you guys right now, we're fighting an Arnim Zola. on defense. So be on the lookout for that one. It's really cool. You're not going to want to miss the next war. Thanks so much for watching. Peace!